A lot of people all across the neighborhoods were upset and up in arms after Greg Gunn was shot and killed by A.C. Smith, the Montgomery police officer, and it's caused a lot of uproar across the area. And as of right now, you have people protesting peacefully because of Greg Gunn. If you look right here behind me, you can see people are protesting with Black Lives Matter signs. And now Samsung is bringing technology to a whole different world. A virtual world.
Once you put the headset on, you're in a totally different place.
Good evening, I'm Darryl Forges. This is Local News First on CBS 8 and ABC Montgomery. Now, many of you have seen a lot of rainfall and flooding in and around the state in the past 2 days. So why are they checking car seats? Statistics show that between 75 to 85% of car seats like this are put in incorrectly. And safety officials say it's important that the way you click could save your child's life. If you're a Sriracha fan, we have some hot news. See what I just did there? And Walmart workers are getting a big reward. News anchor Darryl Hood has details in today's On Your Side report. If you look right here, this is Hibbett Sports. Right now, it's all demolished. Right now, police officers told us to actually step back a little bit. The river region wasn't the only part of the state affected by the heavy rains. Much of Birmingham saw homes destroyed by the storms. Brittany Bivens spoke with one family who was affected by the storm.
Now, there are several requirements nurses and paramedics have to go through in order to be a part of Lifeline.
We've gone to several areas in Montgomery, especially downtown Montgomery. They've had several road closings. Some of those roads have actually reopened, but one of those roads have not reopened. I talked to several people off camera about how it's going to be on this side of the bridge, and they say it's humbling. It's unbelievably humbling to see that this is where it all started. This is where the movement changed everything for them. Well, good morning, Sarah and Tim. A lot of people that you just said lived in and around Montgomery during the civil rights movement, and many marched, held hands, and protested with civil rights icons. As of right now, there's a lot of people outside of the home, but this is exactly where the man died, right here near the home by his porch. And right now, family members and neighbors are wanting to know why.
To see somebody suffer, man, that's something you'll never forget.
Aaron Jordan is still in shock after the death of his uncle, Greg Gunn. Jordan was in the home when Gunn lived at the time of the shooting. Both Jordan and other people in the Mobile Heights community say they heard the commotion early Thursday morning.
He was saying, "Mama, Mama." He was asking for help. He was rapping on this door, asking his neighbor for help.
Carvin!
That neighbor was Colvin Henson.
Before I could get to my phone, the shots rang out. Pop, 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 pop.
Henson then went outside to see what was going on, and that's when he found Greg Gunn.
His head was laying right there. The panel pole was laying over here. And he never moved once he went down. He didn't move no more.
Authorities say Gunn died at the scene, an image many neighbors won't soon forget.
A little girl who had to be about 5 wearing a pink robe walked across the street and walked up to the body. And that was surreal for me.
Jordan still has many questions about what happened, but through the pain and the heartache, he's remembering lessons he learned from his uncle.
He gonna show you how to get $1. And I ain't talking about hustling, just working, period. Ask anybody about it, they'll tell you.
As of right now, police officers have not released detailed information about that officer, but they do say he's young and has been on the force for under 4 years. Currently, right now, he's been placed on administrative leave, which is protocol. In Montgomery, Darryl Forges, Alabama News Network. Randall Vancour is a 3rd grader at Greenville Elementary School. He has cerebral palsy, but he doesn't let that get him down. Can I call you Mr. Randall?
Yes, you can.
Yes. All right, Mr. Randall.
You are a good man, Mr. Darryl.
It hasn't been too long since Randall had a big scare during lunch. He started choking on his food and couldn't breathe.
It got stuck in my throat, and then I didn't know what to do.
First thing that went through my head was to try to, sit him up as much as I could and pat him on his back.
Teachers tried to help but had no luck. That's when Greenville Principal Kent McNaughton rushed over to help.
Did the Heimlich once. It was not effective because of his seatbelt.
McNaughton then undid the seatbelt to get closer to the boy.
And then I did the Heimlich 2 or 3 more times. I leaned back over Randall and I asked him if he could breathe. And he was breathing at that point fine.
Randall thought the worst was going to happen.
I just thought I was finna die or something. I thought I was finna die. But when Mr. McNaughton shut off, I'm glad he saved my life because he's my very best buddy. He's the only buddy I ever had.
Really?
Because he's a great man. I mean, he's old, but he's great.
McNaughton notified his mother about the situation. She only had 2 words to say.
Thank you.
Since the incident, McNaughton and Randall have gotten even closer.
Yeah, 'cause I love my principal.
In Greenville, Darryl Forges, Alabama News Network.
We felt like this was a hate crime.
Africa Lozzi's neighbors discovered graffiti that included racial slurs, profane language, and a reference to a male's private part on a truck that's clearing land for their new home.
We were contacted by our neighbors Saturday morning, and apparently someone who walks or jogs in the neighborhood noticed the graffiti on the truck.
On the truck, the N-word, the F-word, the phrase white power, and the letters KKK. Someone also flattened the truck's right front tire. Lozzi called the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
I was just really shocked because this is 2016, and then that shock turned into anger.
Anger that reminds Lozzi of the racism that still exists today.
We should be able to purchase property. We should be able to do exactly what we're doing out here without, someone trying to install or insert fear tactics to keep us or prevent us from wanting to do that.
Has it changed your thought process about living here at all?
Not at all. They did this actually to the right person because I don't fear easily. If anything, it drives me.
Well, good morning, Sarah and Tim. A lot of people that you just said lived in and around Montgomery during the Civil Rights Movement, and many marched, held hands, and protested with civil rights icons. But one woman made her mark in a different way, a way that caught the attention of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The sounds of the organ. It's the sounds of a Sunday morning church service. At Dexter King Memorial Baptist Church, organist Althea Thomas has used her gift to help with praise and worship for 60 years.
My dad and mother were musicians, and that was part of you eat breakfast, you play the piano. You go to bed on time, you play the piano. All of that stuff just sort of went in together.
Thomas grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, and later received a degree in musical education from Alabama State. She became a teacher and developed a passion for the arts. That passion caught the attention of a pastor from Atlanta, Georgia, who became the preacher of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church by the name of Martin Luther King Jr.
He said, "You've been enthusiastically recommended. We need an organist." And he paid me a compliment. He said, "I want to apologize for asking you to serve under somebody who has had less training than you've had. But we have a choir director and we want to keep him. But we need an organist."
Thomas accepted the offer and was hired by Dr. King. What was his favorite song? Was there like a song that he played, that you played, that he just loved the most?
His favorite song, I think, was "Precious Lord, Take My Hand." That hymn, it's a very quiet, very sweet hymn.
Thomas saw a lot during the Civil Rights Movement, including segregation and the start of the Montgomery bus boycott. But during the struggles of strife, she turned to music as a source of healing.
Sometimes people do listen to what I play. And I said, wow. A lot of times people will tell me after service, "Oh, I enjoyed that."
Thomas is now 82, and she's still sharp as ever. Through her years playing during the good times and the bad, she says she will always remember Dr. King and his words of inspiration.
He said, "We have to remember that we are fighting against significantly strong things in hidden places. But we must remember that God is God, and that everything that He does is strong."
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking with her for a couple hours, it was just amazing hearing her stories and all the things that she's seen in the past 60 years. Now, Ms. Thomas still teaches children when it comes to paintings, piano, and even theater. And get this, she turns 83 on February 4th, the same birthday as Rosa Parks. Sarah?